Welcome back to Countdown to the Castle. My name is Marissa, and I'm joined here with my lovely co-host, Joey.
What's up, guys?
So today, we have a fun episode in store for you guys. We are doing Disney World Superlatives.
Woo!
So we have about 19 different categories, and we're going through the Disney World rides, okay? So things that are moving in Disney World, and we're going to place them into the superlatives.
Or attractions.
Or attractions, okay. Sounds like we have attractions.
Shows.
Oh, interesting. I just did rides.
So I did everything.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's fair. So, like we said, we have things like best overall, most likely tos. You guys are familiar with them. When you went to high school, we had a yearbook. You guys had best hair, best couple, best.
Right. I never had best anything.
And me either, apparently. And
Never once.
We found each other.
Yeah, that's
because of that. Actually, fun fact, guys, if you guys didn't know, we went to the same high school, and we just didn't know each other.
Yeah, we didn't know each other at all.
Way later. So anyway, back to the show. Today, we don't have any real news. We're just going to get right into the episode, okay?
Well, I guess there's one piece of news. Is it's my birthday today.
Oh my gosh.
Well, at the time of this recording, it is my birthday.
At the time that we're recording, it's Jomo's birthday.
That's right.
Should we tell him how old you are?
I'm an old man. 25.
He's a quarter of a century.
Yeah. I'm 25.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
And where did we celebrate you tonight?
Where'd we go?
Longhorns. So
I didn't get no Flo's filet, but I got the sirloin.
We're all juked up on some bread, and we're ready to go. Tons of fried food.
Yeah.
And here we are. All right. So going into our superlatives, which ones do you want to start with first?
Well, on my list, I guess we can just go top to bottom on my list.
Okay, let's do it.
That's fine. So the first one is most thrilling attraction.
Most thrilling. Okay.
At Disney World.
Okay.
So, where'd you go with this?
So, in my head, I was like, Disney World, Disney in general, not known for the most thrilling rides, right?
But they got some.
Yeah, exactly. To the normal folk. But us Disney adults, we know what's up. So, I went with this, and I was like, there's a few different ways that I could go with this. I could go with the traditional roller coaster. I could go with the more a Guardians vibe where it's incorporating a bunch of different things. However, I remember, which one did I feel was the most intense is almost kind of the way I interpreted this for my thrilling.
I feel like we might go the same direction with this.
I don't know, because this one was out of left field for myself, almost.
Okay.
I went with
Don't you say
Expedition Everest.
Ooh, you know what? I wasn't even thinking of Expedition Everest.
I thought about, the
so
backwards.
I just gave, I didn't do Expedition Everest, but.
Yeah. So, I thought about, the backwards part, and I was like, that is pretty, thrilling, and, the tracks being pulled up. It's, kind of gets your heart rate going a little bit. I'm always, a little bit nervous that they won't switch the tracks in time, so... but
just gonna fall down the mountain.
Yeah, so Expedition Everest was my most thrilling superlative.
Interesting.
What about you?
Pretty similar of an attraction. To me, in my opinion, it might sound a little bit boring, but Rock and Roller Coaster is probably, in my opinion, the most thrilling ride. Now, it's not my most fun ride.
Sure.
But it is, to me, the most thrilling just because
blood pumping, kind of
it does have a launch. It goes very fast into a loop.
That's true.
It's got a loop in it.
Down. Or do you go? Yeah, you go upside down.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's got a whole loop in it. It's got corkscrews in it, and it's just blasting music, and it's in the dark. So I think for that reason, it's the most thrilling ride in the park. But Everest, in my opinion, is second close to that.
Yeah.
And then probably Guardians.
Yeah. Right. I think there was a few different ways to go with this one, but I agree. I think Everest and Rock and Roller Coaster would have been a pretty popular attraction.
My first initial thought was Guardians.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no. I mean, it is pretty fast, and there's a lot of G-force on it. But
it might fit better.
But it's more of just kind of fast turns and
if you took the screens away.
Stuff. Yeah. It's really fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it's one of the most fun rides in the park, but I don't think it's more thrilling than Everest or
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I kind of figured Rock and Roller Coaster would be at the top there. But yeah, Everest for me. All right.
Cool.
What's our next category?
So our next one is most likely to make you say, I can't believe I just waited in that line.
Yes. So we know that Disney World can be full of long lines. And to some people who have not ridden some of the attractions before, they just see a long line and they're like, well, that must be a popular ride, right?
That's right.
They hop in it, and sometimes you are met with a quite not living up to that time kind of attraction.
Looks good from the outside, maybe.
Yeah. So with this one, I feel like one of a few, but I feel like it's probably what everybody would put into this category. Immediately, I was like, maybe I shouldn't put it. It's too cliche, but it deserves it so much.
Okay. I think I know
Peter
what you're
Pan.
gonna pick. Yeah. I thought you were going to pick that.
Because I like Peter Pan. I actually love the Peter Pan ride.
Yeah.
However, if I'm thinking about all the rides in Disney World, I'm thinking which ones consistently have a long wait and which ones consistently would I be like, I don't want to wait in that line for that ride. And that's probably my top one.
Okay. Yeah.
What about you?
Okay. So it was my top one. Then I switched it.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be pretty surprising to what I switched it to.
Okay.
But I did. And I think this attraction has a very, very long line sometimes. Now, it can get short.
Okay.
And it does have a single rider option. But if you're not choosing to do single rider, the line is very long. And I don't think like it is worth it unless something happens in the ride. If you get positioned somewhere better than others.
Okay, say it.
So, Millennium Falcon
is
my ride that I said, I can't believe I waited in this line. Because if it's like 70 minutes and you're waiting and like, this is one of those from the outside, you're like, oh, I get to fly in the Millennium Falcon. That's what's up. And you're waiting the 70 minutes and you get up there and you do not get pilot, which in my opinion, I don't know. It could be different for people. I don't know. Other positions might be good. But pilot's probably the funnest.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Pilot's undeniably the best position.
Yeah, that's the best role in the ride. And if you don't get pilot, it's almost like, wow, this is kind of like underwhelming, not very fun. You're just clicking a button on the side of the wall. I remember
the first time that I did ride it, it was me and you. We were on our engagement trip, and we got engineers, not even gunner. I don't think. Maybe we got engineers.
We got engineers.
And if you don't know, there's pilot, then there's the gunners, and then there's the engineers. Is that correct? Is there any more? So the gunner and the engineers are basically off to the side, and they have a button to push. Think of really like Mission Space kind of button.
If your ship gets damaged, the engineers are there to click that button for you.
And pilots, whereas you're in front of the screen, it's
a little bit more interactive.
Some buttons, you're really, really immersed because you're in front of it.
You're in control of the ship.
Yeah. So, I definitely can see where you're coming from. I wouldn't say it's the last time we were in line, it was long because it kept breaking down. However, I think Peter Pan is a better option. And I did want to mention that.
I don't disagree.
Okay. I have an honorary
I just felt like that was almost like a default though.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Like, I almost didn't want to do it because it was like too cliche. I have an honorary mention though for this category, and I have them in some other categories as well.
Okay, I'm curious to hear this.
And this is the Cali River Rapids. So
does that line get long? I haven't rode that ride in so long.
It hasn't recently, but I have waited and at least seen it as a wait because there's not a ton of attractions in Animal Kingdom, and so this one can get a wait sometimes. Even if I waited 45 minutes, I would be disappointed because it truly just has one hill, one drop. And so I don't think I'd be happy if I waited longer than like 30 minutes for this ride.
I hear you, for sure.
So let's move on to our next category.
All right.
What's our next superlative?
Best overall attraction at Disney World.
Wow, this is a big one to fill. I was doing it and I was like, oh my gosh, because I tried to take personal biases out of it a little bit. Like, I didn't make this my favorite ride. I tried to think of this in a superlative way. Right. I said best overall. And to be fair, these are some of my favorite rides because I have an honorable, I guess I should say, mention for this one too. But, I tried to think, what ride has it all? It has a little bit of thrill. It's fun. It's cute. Worth the wait. Things like that. Family friendly. And this one also has the length. It's long. It's a long ride.
Okay.
And
I'm liking it.
It's Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Oh.
So, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, in my opinion, is the best overall attraction at Disney World because I really love Splash, but especially with this IP, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. It's a long ride. It's a cute ride. There's so many different elements to it. I literally am finding something new every single time I'm riding through it.
Okay.
And it's a thrilling ride. There's multiple drops. It's not just like you get on it.
That is true.
And I really appreciate that because it's not like you wait all this time for one big drop. Even then, I think it'd probably be worth it. But you get a lot of multiple drops.
I like the double drop.
Yeah, right.
Where you go down and then back up and then down. That one's fun.
So I just love Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I think, with virtual queue, it can be difficult just to that's the only thing that's kind of a drawback for me is just that the accessibility isn't quite there yet for this ride. However, I love it. And I will mention, my honorable mention is Kilimanjaro Safari.
I didn't know we were doing honorable mentions.
I know. I'm that person where I'm like, well, we both win, Yeah. So, actually, I'm not. I'm very competitive. But Kilimanjaro Safari is my personal favorite ride because it's long. It's incredibly immersive. I mean, you're literally with live animals.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
And it's a bit thrilling because, one, the animals get up close to you, but also, it's not like a smooth ride. So,
yeah.
And it's informational, and you get some fresh air. I love it. I think it's one of the perfect rides. The drawbacks are, sometimes if you're in the middle or sometimes you don't have a good safari ride there. So it's not as consistent as I'd like it to be.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So what about you? Best overall?
Cool. So I know she was talking about like not trying to be biased or anything like that, but I kind of was. But I truly do think it's the best overall ride because you do get a little bit of thrill. Just a little bit of thrill. You get an overall just well-rounded happiness when you're on this ride. And I think it is Frozen.
Oh my gosh. I was so not expecting you to say that.
I love boat rides.
A little bit of thrill. Yes, we do
I love boat rides.
Dark boat ride.
Boat rides are great. You can't deny that. Nobody can.
Family friendly.
Family friendly. It's got good music. I think the animatronics are good. I know some people hate on the faces of Anna and Elsa.
Anna.
Yeah, Anna and Elsa.
Always Anna.
I still think they're good. Olaf's in there. It's, like I said, it's a boat ride. I think the queue's good. I think it's a well-themed queue. I like the little loading area, too. It's just cozy in there. The queue alone is just, like, what gets me going on Frozen. But
that is a crazy take, but
yeah, you get a little bit of thrill. You get the little hills in there. You get to go backwards a little bit. It feels cold in there. Like you feel like immersed. Like
you get a little bit of wet. It's a little bit.
Actually, I think we got a good bit wet.
We did, yeah. It was so funny because the last time we rode Frozen, there was a mom and her son in front of us, and the son was he was a little anxious, and she she asked us, she was like, okay, just tell me, do you guys get wet on this ride? And because he's nervous, he doesn't want to get wet. And I was like, I didn't really think about it too much. And I was like, no, there's not even a chance to get wet. No, we got wet. I mean, you don't get soaked.
Yeah,
it's not
But it was some good blobs of water.
Yeah.
That just came up out of nowhere.
You're on the wrong scene on Pirates and that comes up. Yeah. But yeah, so I agree. I think Frozen's a great attraction.
Yeah, dude. I just love the music. I'm immersed in it, and it's great. It's great.
And we love Arendelle, and the IP is wonderful.
And then you go backwards, and it's so fun.
And no, I agree. It's a really fun ride. All right, so best overall. That one was That was a big category to fill. Big boots. All right.
Best overall, baby.
What's our next superlative?
And hold on.
Oh,
because
okay.
best overall could have easily said something like Guardians.
But that's exactly where I thought you were going.
That's thinking narrow-minded, okay?
Oh.
The ride, the coaster part of the ride is fun. But there's really not much. I mean, there is a lot going on in there, but it's not like a lot. You know what I mean?
No, I don't, because my eyes were closed, so I have no idea what went on.
But like, the roller coaster part of it is fun, but I think like the theming of like something like Frozen or something like Tiana's Bayou,
a little bit more.
It really puts you in there, and it makes you feel like you're like super immersed in whatever IP it is.
And personally, I think for me, I can't ride Guardians, unfortunately. But to me, something like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I feel a little bit more of the Disney magic because it's more of like the cartoons and like, you know, the Frozen. I kind of agree with this sentiment as well. It's just like I kind of feel that like nostalgic Disney feeling a little bit more. But so yeah, I think that kind of plays into why I love these rides so much myself.
Indeed.
All right.
Cool.
Next superlative.
The next one should be pretty self-explanatory. But it is most spooky.
Most spooky. So, yeah, I mean, I think I went pretty straightforward on this one.
Yeah, I did too.
Had to be Haunted Mansion.
Yep, for sure.
Is that what you put as well?
I did put Haunted Mansion.
So, obviously, it's spooky. I remember as a kid, I was extremely apprehensive about getting onto this ride. The only reason I got into this ride is because my Aunt Kristen she lured me in with a prize of a pin from the Haunted Mansion. And I was like, okay, so you know it is spooky, and I mean even until recently, I was a little spooked out. You know,
she's starting to like it again.
I'm loving it now again. So, Haunted Mansion was what I put. However, I have an honorable mention.
Whoa.
That you know I was thinking, I was like, let me think about more than just like the straightforward spooky, like Halloween spooky. Yeah. The honorable mention was it's tough to be a bug because if you remember. The ending scene, there are some creepy crawlies that it creeps out a lot of people.
And then the bugs in the seat.
And the spiders that come down from the ceiling.
The little bug that goes across like your butt.
Yes.
Oh, I hated that.
It's spooky, right?
Yeah, that's gross.
Okay, so I just figured that would be a good one to put in that category as well.
Nice.
Okay, what's our next category?
Most temperamental.
Yeah, so temperamental, I kind of took this as... You know, you're just acting up. Why are you acting like this? Get your stuff together.
Same.
Like, you know, and so with the same notion as Tiana's Bayou Adventure is my favorite. It is also pretty temperamental.
That's right.
And it often goes down during your park day. And so with that, I think we always try and get a virtual queue for the morning. We either try to get a lightning lane. We want to ride it in the morning because if it goes down, then we can get a redemption to come back at any point when it hopefully comes back up. Yeah. So give yourself time to potentially get on this ride. But yeah, it's especially, you know, with its newness still kind of there. She's temperamental. She's got to go time out sometimes during the day.
For sure. But for me, I think there's one that's a little bit more temperamental than that.
Okay.
And this is also in Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
It is Space Mountain.
It does go down all the time.
Space Mountain is down at least 3 times every single day that I'm at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. It actually went down the last time we went, and it was early. It was early in the morning that we went.
Yeah, like I feel like you have a 50-50 chance on if you're on People Mover going through Space Mountain with well, maybe not 50-50, but it's not. I'd be like, oh, the lights are on. Like that's crazy, but
like put it this way, it was early enough to where like it was like a 15-minute wait on standby. And as soon as I'm at the doors, like right when it's about to open, I'm about to sit down. They cut the lights on. They were like, "Oh, we're having technical difficulties," and I'm like, "Of course you are. Of course you're having." They
really do go down, and I think it's because of people dropping so many things on the track.
Yeah. Because in their ride carts. Or whatever, they have the pockets, pouches on the side, which I don't think are the best solution.
Yeah, they're pretty
to
loose.
Hold things. Like, and I had a book bag. For some reason, I didn't give you the book bag, and I'm sitting in the front, and in the front you don't have like the room that you do in the back too. You actually, I mean, you kind of don't. No, you don't have enough room. So I had the bag on top of the lap bar. Like, I'm literally hugging it against the lap bar. Because, like, if you're in the front, you have less leg room. You have less leg room. So you're sitting, like, with your knees almost up. Especially if you're a taller guy. I'm not super tall, but even at my height, I think I'm, like, 5'9". You know, it's like, I still didn't have enough room. So I had to, like, pretty much hold on to my book bag the whole time.
That is
so I'm sure
crazy.
People are dropping things left and right in there.
Well, and, you know, they've made it to where you can't film on it. And I think that's a big component. It's because people were dropping their phones so often. But, yeah, I think that's a really good one because it really is temperamental. She goes down all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next, superlative.
Alrighty. Most likely to wait over 60 minutes in a line.
Yeah, and so this one, we kind of mean, like, which lines are we willing to wait? Like, which ones are we most likely going to get in if it says 60 minutes? And we're going to be like, all right, let's just hop in it.
Yep.
And so, for me, I went with Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
Because I don't know if this is one of the only lines, I feel like, that we have waited 60 minutes in.
Uh-huh.
And if not consistently have gone back and waited 60, like,
or
at least have been comfortable. Like, we've gotten in the line when it was said it was 60. I don't think we've ever probably actually waited 60.
Yeah, I don't know. It never feels like the amount of time that they have posted.
But, you know, this is one of those rides that I'm comfortable waiting a good amount of time in. I mean, over 60 minutes, you're going to be hard-pressed to find me getting in any line. But this is one of them that I think I would get in because, one, the queue's not bad. Some of it's outside, but most of it's in the queue line, and it's pretty easy. Like, they have some seating around, like, you know, some quick seating on the rocks and stuff. And I don't know, I just feel like the ride itself is long enough to, you know, justify waiting in a line like that.
Yeah.
And I love the ride, and I also just, like, love Galaxy's Edge enough to just be like, let's just, like, hang out in this line for a little bit. So, yeah,
not a bad line at all. I like the pick. For me, I don't think you'll like the pick just because of the queue line itself.
Yeah. Are you?
And I'm going also Hollywood Studios.
Oh, my gosh. If it's Slinky.
It is Slinky Dog.
That is one of the worst queues, Joseph.
Slinky Dog Dash. Love the ride. Queue sucks. Sorry. But
I'm not going to want to wait 60 minutes.
I'll wait 60 minutes for that ride. It's got 2 launches in it, a nice little drop hill. I mean, you're in Andy's backyard.
No,
it shrinks you down to the size of a toy. I mean, it's such a good ride. I mean, I love it, and she likes it too. She doesn't really ride many, but I like riding it with her. So, 60-minute wait, I'll do it.
Yeah, I think, at a certain time of the day, it kind of gets to the point where we're like, we've boom, 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 back to back. And we're just kind of like, it's fine. Like, let's just chill. Either we've done a ton or it's just a busy day. And we're just kind of like, hey, we're going to have to wait. And that's okay.
That's right.
I think if that was the case, I'll hop in line with you. Yeah.
I'm maybe not waiting at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's just...
It's either going to have to be an early morning wait or like a late at night late.
Toy Story Land itself has very limited shading and seating. And so it's just a hot
Hollywood
land.
doesn't have shade at all. So.
Yeah, that's a toughie to be out in the heat with. So I agree. At night, I would wait 60 minutes for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it said 60 and it was like towards the end of the evening, I'll absolutely hop in line.
That's
Same with Rise, though. But all right, yeah, I agree with you.
Cool.
Next superlative.
All right, next one is most likely to make you sick.
And let me tell you, I'm the gal. We're going to do a whole episode on navigating Disney World when you have motion sickness, because for me personally, I'm getting nervous going on new rides just because I don't know what it's going to look like for me. So with Guardians, I was like, everyone's talking about how cool it is and stuff. And then, one person was like, yeah, well, I just can't go on it twice in a row because I'll get sick. And I'm like, well, that probably means I'm going to get sick first go around. Right. So with this one, I can't not put this one in its mission space. I can't even imagine going on this ride, especially orange, but I can't even do green at all. Like I
went on
mission
orange last trip for the first time, and it was kind of a blast.
You'd been on it before, but in a while,
Yeah. in a while, but it was a blast. I mean, no pun intended. But, it was fun. I mean, it was very disorienting. Don't get me wrong. But I don't really get fun. I don't really get fazed by it, but it is enjoyable.
Yeah, it's so funny because like on your way in, like every ride has like warnings, but like this one, it's like they are like tripled in size.
They're trying to get you to not go on it.
Tripled in locations. It's literally like every single turn, every pre-show, every narrative has like, hey, I need you to know that this is going to make you so sick. Yeah. So yeah, that one is my main one. My honorary mention though is Mad Teacups. I mean, like just the idea of spinning as fast as you can. It's just my worst nightmare. So yeah, those are mine.
I like the picks because I also picked Mission Space.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like I said, for me it doesn't faze me, but for most people you're going to probably get sick on that ride.
But is there any ride that makes you sick?
There is not a single ride that makes me sick. Now, disoriented.
I was about to say, yes. You say that you get disoriented on them.
I will get disoriented on, like, really only Mission Space. Like Hulk, at Disney, Mission Space is, like, where I get disoriented.
Yeah.
But Hulk, no, Hulk almost makes me black out, which is weird because it's not like the craziest ride I've ever been on in my life.
It's just like the launch.
But for some reason, like, the double corkscrew into a loop, like that just messes with my brain.
Crazy.
And I get like tunnel vision.
It's smushing it.
By the time I'm out of the loop, I'm like almost like blacked out in my vision, and then I kind of come to. But still fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like almost nothing makes him sick, so I feel like you're a bad like judge on that.
It's kind of fun to try to like fight it off too a little bit. Gosh, I know it sounds kind of psycho,
crazy.
But it is.
Okay. All right. Next superlative.
Worst ride.
Yeah, we had a best overall. It's only fair that we give out the worst ride superlative. And I'm going to give this prize right over to The Seas with Nemo and Friends.
What?
Yeah.
Shot. You weren't thinking hard enough.
No, I have an honorable mention. I'll let you say yours first because I don't want to take it just in case. But yeah, the last time we were on this ride, I literally was like, I love the queue. Queue's amazing.
Love it.
Hate the ride. I'm on it and I'm like, this isn't even worth like me getting off my feet. I mean, it is, but like it is all screens. Yeah. And like, it's just not a good ride. It's just a horribly planned ride. They put such little effort into this ride.
It's an old ride.
I don't know. I don't know when it opened. I don't remember how old this ride is, but it just felt like extremely lackluster. I get it. With like Little Mermaid. I love the Little Mermaid ride, so I'm like, what a. I also don't love like Finding Nemo that much.
It's not Nemo. It's not my favorite, but I do like Nemo.
Yeah, it's one of my like least. It's like one of the most annoying Disney movies out there. Yeah. So it's just confounding on each other. So okay, what about you?
Well, mine, I'll hand this one right over to It's a Small World.
Oh.
Because that's by far the worst ride I've ever been on in my entire life.
Oh, no. Mary Blair, close your ears.
Sorry.
I
worst boat ride, too.
You would think that.
I mean, it's just the slowest boat ride on planet Earth. I'm not asking for a thrill, but, like, I'm just like...
Yeah. Well, I could appreciate It's a Small World because of the inclusion and because of the history. I think the Walt Disney World one, I care a lot less about than the history behind the Disneyland one. And also the Disneyland one looks way cooler than ours at Disney World. So I agree with you. I don't love going on this ride.
I'll pass it up every time.
I'm like, I don't need.
Unless it's like a 5-minute wait and we're just like bored.
Yeah, literally, I'd have to be bored to get on that ride.
But it'd have to be a walk-on.
Yeah, no, literally. I think I totally agree with you. I wouldn't say it's like the worst because it has some good elements to it that like make it like they put in a lot of effort towards it, and like for different like seasons and holidays they kind of spruce it up. So I can appreciate that.
Okay.
But I'm definitely with you. I gotta be real.
Like I'd rather go on Nemo.
I would rather go on It's a Small World personally.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I definitely would. No, because an open boat like that, rather than just like being in this shell, like face to face with the screen, like that is horrible. That is a horrible ride.
No, it's not.
So my honorable mention was, I'm so sorry, Figment.
Figment's
such a bad ride too.
I don't think it's bad.
It's a it's a really bad ride.
So when they do like the scene and it like flashes you in the eyes, the very ending one, and then all of a sudden the walls drop. You're not supposed to see the walls drop.
Yeah.
But, you do.
The old, I don't really remember the, not the original, I guess, but one of the older, like, Journey into Imagination Figments. But Figment's just a bad ride. Every time I get on it, I'm really like, this is, like, I just don't want to be on it.
I'll ride it.
I don't want to ride it. Those are, I'd say, Seas of Nemo and Figment are literally 2 rides that I'm like, I don't even want to go on it. So even if I'm bored,
will be.
Even if I'm bored. All right.
We're going on them.
Okay. Well, we're going on It's a Small World.
No.
Okay. Next superlative.
All right. Born in the wrong decade.
Okay. So I kind of went a different direction with this one.
Okay.
This superlative to me got me thinking. I'm like, what's a ride that would have been a great ride now?
Yep, that's exactly how I thought about it.
Or what would have been a great ride then? I mean, to be fair, all of the rides there now would have done great back then just because of the technology.
Oh, yeah.
However, I'm thinking more, let's dive into the past. Which one was in Disney World when it just wasn't appreciated like it would be now, today? And the superlative goes to Stitch's Great Escape.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, the push for Stitch in Disney World right now is so heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And especially that there's basically nothing there now. I think, Alien Counter, no, I'm good. Yeah. Stitch's Great Escape, wonderful. You had the IP. It was a cute show. Okay. Why did you get rid of it? I don't know. I don't understand. There's nothing even there. I think if you put that was just the wrong timing for that attraction because people would love it now.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love it. I mean, I'm trying to see my buddy Stitch. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It would have been received so well today.
Okay. I don't know if we were on the same page because mine was more like what ride could have been better that was built then now.
Ooh, I like that. Like the idea was there, they just didn't have the technology.
Yeah, the idea was there. I like
that.
Did not have the technology. Now, I'm not saying the technology is the worst on the attraction I'm about to say, but I think it could have been a lot better now.
It would have been like more well received if the technology was a little bit more spruce.
And it's still a popular ride though.
Oh, interesting. Oh, is it still around?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what is it?
Did I misinterpret the Born in the Wrong Decade? You seemed a little confused when I was like, you were like, is it still around? I'm like, no. Yeah, it's still around. But in my eyes, I was like, okay, it can still be around.
No, I agree.
But it just would have been better if it was born on, 2020
today.
Or something like that.
No, but yeah, and I understand because like when you're making a ride, the technology... You can't unless you completely redo the ride, you're going to have to use some of the technology that was on opening day. Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead. What was it?
So, my pick for that is Space Mountain.
No, yes, and I totally get what you're saying because you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Still a great ride. Still a great ride. It's super fun. Love it. But I think it's old. It's an old ride. If they turn the lights on in there, you'll see it's really...
It's just one of your...
It's almost like a carnival roller coaster. I was going to
say, think about the classic wooden roller coasters that you see. It's very similar to that.
Yeah, it's just an old-time coaster.
Not wooden, but...
If it was built now, I think Space Mountain would be such a great idea. I don't really have, the greatest ideas for it, but, I feel like... Because once you're in it, I mean, the queue's all right.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy it a little bit, but... Once you're
nostalgia,
in the actual ride of Space Mountain, you can't really see anything. You can kind of see the stars shooting past,
which is kind of a fun aspect to it. But I think I agree.
I'm not saying you have to see anything. I'm just thinking it could have been a better technology to make you feel more immersed, like you're going through space and stuff like that. Kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. It does a really good job with all the stars in there and the planets and stuff like that. I think just honestly compare it to Guardians. Think what they did with Guardians.
I absolutely agree.
And what Space Mountain could have been now. So that's why I picked Space Mountain.
Yeah, I mean even just the fact alone that the track is rickety, it's a little bit tough to ride it nowadays.
Yeah.
I think that's a great pick. Yeah, I definitely like the way that you kind of went with that. Okay. All right. Moving on to our next superlative. What do we have?
We got most likely to sell out first on Fast Pass.
Well, I guess, Lightning Lane multi-pass, let's say. So, first to sell out, I think.
What kind of like? So in my eyes, on this one, I gave every single ride in the park multi-pass. So I just got rid of. I got rid of like your
single pass.
Your single pass. Everything is multi-pass in my eyes.
I went with the system as it is today.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just saying I got rid of like, you paid an extra $25 to get on 7 Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I kept it as like the multi-pass that we see today. If you had multi-pass, which one's going to sell out first? And for me, I think that's Tiana's. I think I don't know. We've fiddle-faddled, and like, which just means basically from another content creator, like just refreshing until like you see another thing pop up or another opportunity come up. We've only done that to get Tiana's Bayou Adventure for a lightning lane. Everything else has been virtual queue for us. So I've never even seen Tiana's Adventure as a lightning lane multipass in the morning. So and I mean, to be fair, this is 7 days prior. And that was on me. I've only done it once as of now, one like 7 day prior, for all the days that we were there. Yeah. And it was gone by the time I looked at it. So, that's just a toughie to get. And I think, an honorable mention that I had, well, why don't you go? You tell me what you thought.
So mine is actually Tron. I think if that was available. Okay. To do multi-pass. That was kind of the way I was doing it.
Almost like the most popular for you.
I think Tron would probably, just because of like, and again, Tiana's doesn't have their standby, but so I don't really know how it would compare to Tron, but Tron gets up there in the wait time. It's like
their standby, like 150,
like 170 minutes sometimes.
Consistently.
So I think people are like racing to that ride, and I just think like if it was out there as an option, like, it would be gone in like an instant. As soon as 7 o'clock hits, it would be 0.3 seconds gone.
We never buy the single pass for Tron Light Cycle Run. We've just always either, because I don't ride it, so it's either him getting just virtual queue or now, I mean, have you waited in the standby line yet?
A little bit for the virtual queue.
Okay, yes. So, but okay.
I waited about 40 minutes in that line, so.
Yeah, so we've never done the single pass on this one. Does this one sell out fast, do you think? I don't think it, like, sells out as fast as, like,
no, I don't ever think, like, this, like, the individual single pass sells out quickly on really any, like, you're able to get it, like, if you're up at 7 o'clock, you're able to get it. Yeah,
so, right, I think that, exactly. So, but yeah, I think if Tron, in theory, but yeah, I think Tiana's is absolutely one of the hardest ones to get. I had an honorable mention of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot. That one is also a really popular one. That one's going to sell really quickly. Yeah, so
for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, flipping it over.
Yep.
Most likely to sell out last on FastPass.
Yes. So
this one should be pretty easy.
I feel like basically it's just there, in Disney World, there's a bunch of filler rides, and I love filler rides. I think that your whole day changes based off of how many filler rides you do. I think, personally, I would rather do 10 filler rides than 1 or 2 big e-ticket attractions, personally.
Okay.
So I don't mean any slander towards these attractions that I'll say, or that we will say, but I think the last one to sell out on Lightning Lane right now would probably be Muppets 3D Vision.
Muppets 3D? I don't think you were thinking hard enough for that one either.
I just think, I mean, that one, it's just till the next show. It's literally just till the next show. And I think there are a lot of attractions in Disney World that are like that. So there probably could have been a ton of different ones for this one that would have been on equal playing field, but yeah, so I'm not getting Muppets.
You don't think Figment would be the last to sell out?
Does Figment even have a lightning lane?
Yes, it does.
Does it really? Oh, you're right, it does.
It does indeed. And it's never over a 5-minute wait to get on, and that 5 minute really just means
you're right.
On.
I think that might be even more of like the last.
It's got to be the last.
It's got to be the last. But I mean, and we'll have another superlative coming up. But some people love Figment, so I don't know.
No, it's the last.
Yeah, I think
there's no wait. There's literally no wait for it, so it's got to be the last one.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's literally like use it as the burner in the morning, go tap in, and then now you have other tiers, all the tiers to play with. But Yeah, it's not worth getting a lightning lane selection. All right.
So the next one is most likely to never ride again. And I'll just throw mine out there because it's pretty short, sweet, and simple.
Okay.
It's a small world.
Oh, my gosh. Most likely to never ride again. There's not a single ride that you're just like, well, I guess you like the thrilling ride, so...
It doesn't. Okay. I don't need a thrilling ride. I just need an enjoyable ride, and I don't think it's very enjoyable.
I feel like I believe you. I feel like that's accurate for you. I would ride that one again. Like, if I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's probably going to come up in my life again. Then I'm going to be like, let's go on it. For me, the ride that I am most likely to never ride again, the superlative, I'm giving the award to the Astro Orbiter. Award. Every time I think about Disney World, Astro Orbiter is the last on my list. I never want to ride this ride. First of all, it's so high. It's so scary. Second of all, it's a spinner ride, so I'll get sick. Third of all, it's a fast spinner ride. So I feel like those things
I've never been on it, but it does look fast.
No, I literally feel like you are coming off of those things and going into space yourself. I also hate the elevator. It's not the worst ride because it is fun for people who enjoy it, but I am very highly likely never going on that ride again. So, all right.
Same with It's a Small World.
Okay. All right. Next superlative.
Next superlative is the best looking attraction.
Yes. So I think... I had a toughie. There's
a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones. I think for me, the superlative for the most attractive, the best looking attraction has to go to Spaceship Earth. I mean, it's the freaking golf ball.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
I see it.
What do you mean? It's like I have an honorable mention, and I'll save it.
So you just went for like a cosmetic, like outside look. Okay.
Most attractive, best looking.
So I was thinking overall. Overall, I want Q. I need, the scenery or whatever. I need the ride itself. Once you're on the ride, I need
Interesting.
I need everything. So the best looking
I think that's a fair
attraction to me would be Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
You don't agree?
I mean, I just wouldn't be like, oh, it's beautiful in the sense
that it's like attraction.
A cool ride, but like, I wouldn't think it's like good looking.
Everything about that ride is good looking. Come on
I
now.
don't know. I feel like I went a different direction than you.
No, the queue line's really good. I like the queue line, all the props and stuff in there.
But attractive?
Then the first pre-show, it's good looking in there. Then you get into the Resistance ship. And you see all the stormtroopers.
You guys are so pretty. This is such a pretty ride.
You know what? Maybe I was thinking a little weird on it.
Totally
I don't know.
Way.
But I think it's the best looking attraction.
My honorable mention, because maybe this will clarify how I was thinking.
Okay.
Is Tower of Terror.
Ooh.
Like, that's a very attractive ride. Like, I look at that ride, I'm like, that looks amazing. Like, it's just the best looking
I can see
ride.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
I can see that. So Slinky Dog should have been my number one.
No. But yeah, I'm like the Spaceship Earth golf ball.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it a little weird way. Okay.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to look at it for sure.
Yeah.
I think, superlative goes to you, Spaceship Earth.
I'll give you that. So, 180. Least attractive attraction. That's funny. Attractive attraction. Yeah, right?
Super funny.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm going off the rails here. I don't know what to do.
Okay, so I went with this kind of almost how you went with the first one.
Okay.
I was just like, there's not really... I was like, nothing came to mind that immediately was like, ooh, that's ugly. Disney World's, they do a good job of theming, right? But I will say, Buzz Lightyear is a fugly attraction. From the outside,
sliding doors.
I genuinely feel like dirty when I go over around Buzz Lightyear. I like this. The queue outside is disgusting. Like, it's just gross over there. The facade isn't giving.
It's got the sliding doors to get in.
It's got the sliding doors. Like, the queue itself feels muggy.
Yeah.
And, like, to be fair, they really could use an update inside the ride if we wanted to go inside, too.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's mine. Right. Buzz Lightyear. So sorry.
I kind of went the way you were thinking on your
first one. Okay.
Yeah. So this is just from the outside.
All right, I'm interested to see what you thought was an ugly attraction.
I'm thinking that this is like the least attractive. Like this isn't going to attract me towards it.
Oh.
Okay, so that's my mindset and how
use
I'm
that mindset
thinking.
For Buzz Lightyear too, because I can apply that to mine as well. Okay, what do you have?
So mine's Living with the Land.
I see what you're saying though.
When I'm looking at Living with the Land, until I went on it like about 2 years ago, I never touched it.
Yeah,
it wasn't eye catching.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't attractive. Like I was just like, you know what? You're not cute, so I'm not gonna ride you.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing about it looks entertaining from the outside.
Yeah.
In fact, I hated, and I am just now appreciating the land pavilion itself, but like I hated going into the land as a kid. Mm-hmm. I just hated the pavilion. I loved Soarin', but like hated going into the land.
Hated it too. I actually hated it too.
That is so funny. It's like a universal childhood experience.
Well, it's just bland and boring in there.
It's so bland. It is, and I still don't love it. But like, I think I'm appreciating it a little bit more now because I do love Soarin'. I do love Living with the Land. Mm-hmm. But no, I totally agree. There's literally not even like, I mean, there's one sign, but it's an ugly sign.
Living with the Land.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. Ugly.
All right.
Ugly attraction.
So sorry to Buzz and Living with the Land.
Okay.
All right, next one.
This next one, pretty interesting, but most likely to have a cult following.
Yeah, and you know, Disney adults, we're passionate, right? Mm-hmm. We find something and we hook our claws into it, and
That's right.
I'm guilty of it just as much. Liking Tiana's By Adventure is going to be my whole personality for the next few Disney trips, and we're just going to deal with it. So I understand this. However, there are some rides that attract more of a cult following than others.
Okay.
And I have multiple.
Multiple?
Yes.
Well, say your top one, and then I'll say mine, and then you can go into your...
Figment is my top one.
Crazy.
And, you know, this is why I was having a little bit of a hard time, because I'm like, everybody that's so obsessed with Figment himself... Are you also obsessed with the ride? Or is it just the purple monster that you guys are loving?
Yeah, right.
You let me know in the comments, because I don't know about that one. You know what I mean? Like, if it's just him, I'm like, all right, he's cute, one little spark, you know what I'm saying? But, like, do you guys like the ride?
Right? Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. What's yours?
Interesting. I don't know if I looked at this one weird or not either.
How could you?
I just kind of get a weird vibe from it. I don't understand why so many people are attracted to it. I can kind of see it, but not really.
Okay.
And it's just kind of strange.
Okay, what is it?
But Peter Pan most definitely has a cult following to it.
I don't even know if it does. Like, if you're alluding to like the high weight, I don't know if that's because of people's passion towards the Peter Pan ride.
There's no way that many people have that much passion towards the Peter Pan ride.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they do. I don't think that that's really like. Maybe.
Yeah, so some cult is behind it, and they're all being forced onto Peter Pan. So, yeah.
You're just saying like Peter Pan gives like creepy energy because you're like, why?
Yeah, I just don't get it.
You're giving cult energy.
Like, even the person sprinkling pixie dust on my handrail when it comes down on me. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
Okay, so my honorable mentions were Country Bear Musical Jamboree. You guys love this ride. You either ride or you die for it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that one, and also Living with the Land. I think this one is a new and upcoming cult. I think I'm a part of it now. Hey, welcome home.
That's right.
So yeah, Living with the Land as well.
Okay. Cool. Moving on. Most likely to make you cry.
Okay, so I was like, honestly, I don't know if it's a ride that might make me cry. And to be fair, I wasn't really thinking shows. I think if I had included shows, I definitely could have found one easily. Okay. However, if I personally am just thinking about rides, I put Toy Story Mania, because if I lose, I want to cry.
Dude, I finally beat her.
Yeah, he did.
To be fair, we were like, let's just play around.
Yeah, this is so lame.
No, she turned up too.
Well, no, it was like we were just casually sitting in the car. We're like, bloom, 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 bloom. You know, just like, let's just like play. And then all of a sudden,
like,
then I'm like
the
casually
shots started
coming
out faster. I was like, I'm going to casually beat her. And then I think she was thinking the same thing. And she's like, I'm going to casually beat him. And then all of a sudden, we just started getting faster and faster and faster, and it was game on.
There's just no way the two of us are going to go into a game and not be competitive.
Yeah,
so
it was game on, but I finally beat her, and it was great. Loved it.
And hence why I cry, because I don't like to lose.
Yeah, so moving on to mine, and I'm going to say the Tiki Room.
What?
I'm definitely going the Tiki Room. Because,
why? Cry?
First of all, it's kind of creepy. That might have a cult following.
No, you're right. I should have said that.
That might have a cult following.
That does give cult energy for sure.
Definitely gives cult energy. But I wanted to cry because I was just in there. Because especially
wait.
when the totem poles started speaking.
That really made him uncomfortable,
like,
guys.
I was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. Like, I feel like this is weird. Like, get me out of here. And I wanted to cry. So, Tiki Room most likely to make me cry.
That's so funny. So I have to ask you, which one would you rather go in, Tiki Room or Small World? Because personally, I'm taking Small World all day long.
Yeah, I guess I'm taking Small World.
Yeah, so you probably should have thought a little bit harder.
I don't know. I might take Tiki Room just because it's a little bit shorter, I think.
Well, I don't know if it's shorter.
Whatever one gets me off faster, I'm with it.
Yeah, at least with Tiki Room, you can bring in Dole Whip, which we did.
Yes, but yeah, Tiki Room.
All right, cool. Moving on. What's our next superlative?
Most joyful attraction.
I don't have that one.
Well, you're going to have to come up with one on the spot.
Okay. Most joyful.
Let's hear it.
Is Frozen sing along?
Frozen sing along.
Love that. Actually, you know what?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Off the top of the head, I think that's a pretty solid one. There probably is another one. But Carousel of Progress, I think, is a really joyful one too. I love Carousel of Progress.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Frozen sing along, yeah, I'm always smiling and laughing, and I just have a great time.
Yeah,
in there.
That's a good one.
Okay, what was yours?
One for the top of the head.
I can't believe I didn't even see that one. So sorry.
So mine is Remy.
Oh yeah.
Remy. I just like seeing Remy and Emil. Emil eating all the food. It's great. Love it. I think the sets in there are good. I think the screens, the videos that they got on the screens are good. I like the immersion of the ride.
It's very joyful. Yeah,
it is very joyful.
We are always very happy on that ride. The two of us. And you know what's funny is every time, like at the loading zone, you can either get Remy or Emil, and we always want Emil so bad.
Yeah, right.
So I feel like most people are gonna want Remy.
It's kind of hard to see when you're in the queue line too. You're like, is that Remy or Emil?
Am I gonna get Emil?
Then he pulls up, and you're like, yes, it's Emil. Let's go.
Yeah, I need some more representation of Emil in the Disney parks.
That's right.
That
is right.
All right, what's our next one?
Class Clown. So
yeah, I mean, Class Clown, a classic
Take it how you will.
Superlative in the high school yearbooks, right? And I'm gonna go Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Right? I mean, like
okay. So you went quite literal.
I went quite literal. I laugh at this one. I think it's funny. I think it makes fun of itself a little bit. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Class Clown. Mike Sully.
Nice.
MC.
Well, my Class Clown was more of like the ride itself is a joke.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Whoa.
So mine was Nemo.
Oh, like you went like, you think this is a joke in a negative way.
Yeah, I just think it's a funny ride because of how bad the ride is.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, like she said, she kind of went over it already. It's just screens.
It's bad.
You're in a shell. It's kind of hot in there. It's not the most comfortable.
That's so funny that you put that for Class Clown.
But
and you know what's funny is the clown. He's a clownfish, right?
Oh, yeah. No pun intended.
All right, moving on. What's our next superlative?
All right, this is the loudest.
Yeah,
ride.
This one was an easy one for me.
This was not very easy.
I was going to say, I know you had a hard time with this one, but Dinosaur. Dinosaur is so
I didn't
loud.
Think of that. Yeah. I'll give you that one. Yeah, for sure. I'd probably if I went back, I'd probably say Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I had a couple different ones for this one. I just could not think of a loudest ride
and
for some reason.
Disney's just a loud place to be.
I'm like, there's Rock and Roller Coaster. You got music blasting. I did have that. Didn't really want to repeat it again.
Yeah, no, fair.
So I was like, let me think of a loud ride, and I couldn't really think of one, but I thought of a single part of a ride that was loud.
Okay, what is it?
And it's like excessively loud. Is Big Thunder Mountain's Lift Hill.
Oh my god!
I think it is the loudest thing possible.
I was freaking out on this last trip because it literally is like, that is loud, and there's banging.
You're in the cave, and it's just super loud, and it's like loud. Obnoxious. So the whole ride itself isn't too loud, but like that one specific part just like stood out to me, and I was like, yeah, that's a loud area, and I hate it. So
all right, yeah, fair enough. Okay, I think this is our last superlative.
This is our last superlative. And it is most likely to get re-themed.
Yes.
This one was kind of hard.
I think, it was difficult because there's a lot of things already announced for getting re-themes.
There's a lot of new things that haven't been here quite some time. So, yeah, this one was kind of tough, but we had to pick the best one, so... Go ahead.
Yeah, I went with the Grand Fiesta Tour over in the Mexico Pavilion.
That was a good one.
Because if I think about things that I would retheme, I would consider retheming this one to Coco. I think, the Mexico Pavilion itself has already transitioned a lot into Coco. Mm-hmm. We love the movie Coco. It kind of just makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so, I love how the Grand Fiesta Tour is now. But if I see the future a little bit, I think eventually it will get rethemed into a Coco attraction, which I'd be totally fine with.
Nice. I like the pick.
Yeah.
So mine, I didn't really go that far into it,
That's okay.
Animal Kingdom, they're getting a new land over there. They're getting some new attractions over there. One being Indiana Jones.
Yes.
So he has his spot over there now. And I'm thinking that Indiana Jones at Hollywood Studios gets rethemed to something else.
Okay, no, I think that's a great pick because I think that is in the conversation because I want that to stay so bad because of the MGM, remnants that show has. I think you're right, though. I think that's
I personally think
block.
It needs to get rethemed.
No.
I definitely think it's on the hot seat. Like,
I
don't
agree.
know. I don't think they've said anything about it, but
I don't think they've mentioned it.
I do think it's on the hot seat, and I personally think something new needs to go there. Whether it be a ride or another show.
Here's the thing: if it's something new, I want it to be something similar, just with new IP, right? Like I'm not a huge fan of when they take something that doesn't have IP and then puts IP in it sometimes, even though I just said the Grand Fiesta Tour, but that's small enough to not worry about it.
Yeah.
However, if it already has IP, I mean, Indiana Jones is, so putting a new, fresher IP in there, I think is totally fine. So I would be totally fine with that. I just love the live action kind of show there.
It's a good show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is. But I agree with you. It's on the hot seat for sure.
I think it is time.
Yeah. Well, that was all of our superlatives. You can, we'll get the Countdown to the Castle yearbook, finished publishing, and we'll send them out to the rides and let these rides know their accomplishments. Some of them won't be so happy.
Yeah, Marissa and Joey have rated your rides. Here you go.
Yes, exactly. So let us know over at our Instagram at Countdown to the Castle if you guys agree with any of our superlatives, or if you think that we should have picked a different attraction to go into those categories. Also, I feel like this would be a fun thing to do, like Universal or like there's just so many ways.
And maybe you guys can give us some superlatives so that we
different categories.
We'll fill them. We'll fill them out, but you guys send them in.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you don't have anything else to add,
I do not.
I think this will wrap up our episode today. Thank you guys all so much for listening or watching us over at YouTube. Please make sure to follow us over at Instagram at Countdown to the Castle. Leave a review here on the podcast platforms, or a like or subscribe over at YouTube. We appreciate you guys so much, and until next time,
let the countdown begin.